Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Chad bringing y'all another video, man. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Black Lives Matter using donations to buy a $6 million Southern California home. And this is coming from the New York Post as of April 4th. Now, I made a video a while ago about, Black Lives Matter and the money they get and the money and everything like that. And you remember Patrice Cullors at one point had just bought a new house with her wife, and that was her fifth house, and people were already speculating, where's the money coming from? She was like, I earned this money and blah 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 blah. And now you see them doing stuff like this, which I said they're more than likely using the donation money to do this stuff. Not only were they using the donation money to do this stuff, but none of the Black Lives Matter chapter organizations or the families' dead sons or daughters or the ones who have been hurt by police brutality, none of them saw any of the money. Then nobody in the black community saw any of the money that they raised. None of the family members saw any of the money. So it's like, where did the money go? Then you see Patrice Cullors buying $1 million house in a white neighborhood, gated community. Now they're using donations to buy $6 million Southern California homes. Like, you really just can't make this up. They, use the likeness of dead black people and black people to race hustle people for Black Lives Matter. Anyways, man, we're going to get into the video here. So, Black Lives Matter bought a swanky Southern California home for nearly $6 million using donation cash, according to a report Monday. Three leaders of the social justice movement, Patrice Cullors, Alicia Garza, and Melina Abdullah, recorded a video last June outside of the secretly bought home while marking the 1-year anniversary of George Floyd's murder. So while they were celebrating the 1-year anniversary of George Floyd's murder, they said, man, we're gonna be on video and we're gonna secretly buy this home for our 1 year of George Floyd dying. So George Floyd is passing away, and they say, you know what? We're just gonna buy this home secretly so we can have something to celebrate finessing all the people for a whole year. During all the, riots of summer 2020 and everything after George Floyd's death, where they tore up cities, tore up states, the homeless population had grown since then. People's businesses shut down, all because of George Floyd, who people were acting like George Floyd was a saint, but he wasn't. Yeah, he didn't deserve to die during it, but Black Lives Matter piggybacked and used all of that to gain money for themselves. Cullors at the time said she was weeks removed from being in survival mode after the Post exclusive reporting in April revealed her purchase of a 4N U.S. home for $3.2 million. So she bought this during George Floyd's anniversary in secret for $3.2 million. You just gotta love it, man. You just gotta love them. It's because we're powerful, because we're winning, Cullors said of what she characterized as right-wing media attacks. It's because we are threatening the establishment. We're threatening white supremacy. First off, you're no threat to the establishment or white supremacy. If anything, the establishment and white supremacy want to use black people and their deaths to gain money to facilitate themselves. That's exactly what they did. They used the likeness of black people, the movement, the enraged, the feelings and emotions of black people during this such a tumultuous time when they felt like George Floyd, police brutality, different people dying, and they used it for themselves. The establishment doesn't care about them. The establishment wants this type of stuff to happen. They want to use people. So when she says that, it's like the right-wing media attacked you because we knew all these donations that you're getting, and none of it went to the chapter organizations, nor none of it went to the families of these dead kids and, just the black community in general to try to build us up. None of the money went towards them. So where did it go, Patrice Cullors? Like, she's literally lived up to her name. She's become a con artist, and her middle name is Patrice Cullors. But Cullors and her colleagues didn't reveal any details on the upscale home seen behind them in the video. A 6,500 square foot spread with more than 6 bedrooms and bathrooms, fireplaces, and a pool and parking for more than 20 cars, according to a real estate listing cited by the magazine. So this place, it's a pretty big mansion, dog. It could fit 20 cars. They living it up, you feel me? The property was purchased in October 2020 with funds that had been previously donated to the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, according to the explosive report. The 7-bedroom residence was purchased by a man named Diane Pascal 2 weeks after Black Lives Matter GNF received $66.5 million from its fiscal sponsors earlier that month. Pascal is the financial manager for Jania and Patrice Consulting, an LLC operated by Cullors and her spouse. Janaya Khan, New York Magazine reported. Ownership was then transferred within a week to an LLC in Delaware, ensuring the property's owner wouldn't be disclosed, according to the report. Cullors, BLM's co-founder, resigned in May as the group's executive director amid criticism over buying 3 homes in the Los Angeles area and another outside Atlanta. The purchase of the nearly $6 million home had not been previously reported, and Black Lives Matter officials tried to keep its existence a secret from journalists looking into the transaction, according to the report. So you have Patrice Cullors, who says that right-wing media is trying to smear her, and basically the white man's trying to get her, and they're trying to stop them from doing good things because they're making a difference. And then she resigns. And then she tries to keep the $6 million home a secret from anybody ever knowing. So my whole thing is, if you're doing the right thing, and you're supporting the black community, you're doing what it takes to, fight this racism and police brutality and Black Lives Matter and everything, then why are you resigning? And why are you trying to keep stuff a secret? Anytime I see someone resign, it's usually because they were in the wrong, they know it, and they don't want to have any criminal charges or really be pressed about it. So they try to resign. And if they are really standing on what they believe in, they're not keeping anything a secret. So what is she like you see what people were talking about. Like, you see that people were saying they're using the money, they're using the likeness of black people, dead black people, and they're trying to finesse people into giving them this money, which at this rate, reading this article, it's like you'd have to live underneath a rock not to be able to see any of this, and you'd have to realize that these folks don't really care about black people. Now, for me, I knew they never cared about black people because, for one, they said they were trying to disrupt the nuclear family. The problem with the black community is we need nuclear families to be able to thrive. Children, they always reap good benefits off having a mom and a dad in the household. Patrice Cullors and them, their whole mission statement on their site way back in the way was, we're trying to disrupt the nuclear family. We don't want fathers in the household, blah, blah, blah. So it's like they were never for black people in the first place. So not only were they not for black people, but they were using black people to hustle them off their emotions and everything to make money. So we'll keep going here. The organization tried to kill the story about the home, which is referred to internally as the complex. So this went from being just not only a house, but this is their complex. It's their compound. They go into their compound in secrecy to go laugh behind people's backs because all the money they made. You feel me? While one strategy memo reportedly suggested it might be used as an influencer house where artists can congregate, the residence was purchased on the intention for it to serve as housing and studio space for recipients of the Black Joy Creator Fellowship. BLM GNF board member Sheoma Bowers told the magazine in a statement Friday. The foundation had always planned to disclose the home's legal findings this May, and it doesn't serve as anyone's personal residence, Bowers said. But the statement did not spell out why little content has been produced over some 17 months if it was in fact intended to be a creative space, according to the report. court. So they're sitting up here saying this house was supposed to be used as an influencer house. Now, when I think of an influencer house, I think of those YouTubers who are famous, who come together, buy this house, all these influencers come into the house, and they're all producing content. The whole purpose of them being there is to, produce content and have fun. They tried to keep this house a secret and not disclose anything. And they were meeting in secrecy. They bought this in secrecy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how could this house have been planned to be an influencer's house and you weren't going to disclose anything until May, but you've been bought it? You've been bought it. If it's an influencer's house, even if you tried to keep the house a secret and not disclose it, where's the content? Can I see this influencer content? What content would y'all be creating? They don't have, and then they're saying that it doesn't serve as anyone's personal residence, and they need to discuss the home's legal filings. Well, I mean, we don't know where any of the millions of dollars have gone for Black Lives Matter. So, like, can somebody account for any of the money? Patrisse Cullors bought herself a $4 million like ranch house up in a white neighborhood. Then y'all are buying a $6.2 million house wherever, and it's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Let's just keep going, though. One nonprofit organization expert said the sheer size of the buy might subject BLM to more criticism about its lackluster transparency. That's a very legitimate critique, Candid co-founder Jacob Harold told the outlet. It's not a critique that says what you're doing is illegal or unethical. It might just be strategic. Harold, who helped create a service tracks U.S. nonprofits, questioned whether the funds could have been spent better otherwise. Now, people are going to criticize Black Lives Matter in the first place because their mission statement and everything, like I'm saying, was not for black people. Then you have this where they don't want to have transparency. They're not telling you where the money's going. The families of these people haven't seen any of the money for their kids being dead. The black community hasn't seen any of this money. And people within the Black Lives Matter Foundation just keep buying houses. And they come up with these excuses and stuff. And people are trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. And they're like, it may not be illegal or unethical. This is unethical, bro. All of it's unethical. None of this is, it's definitely strategic. It's strategic because they don't want people to know. They don't want to tell you where the money's going. They want to do this stuff and meet in secrecy. And then they're trying to come up with cover-ups for why they're doing all this. And it doesn't actually fit what we're seeing. They're telling us, don't believe what your eyes and ears are seeing or hearing. Just trust us, bro. Just trust us. Why aren't you spending it on policy or, other strategies that an organization might take to address the core issues around Black Lives Matter? Harold asked. The property was acquired in furtherance of BLM's mission, as well as for any ancillary usages as needed, Bo said in a statement to the Post Monday. The organization always plans to disclose the property on the upcoming 990 due May 15th as part of the BLM's ongoing transparency efforts. It's not hard to be transparent with people, bro. You just keep it on it. Like, folks deserve the truth. Yo, we're using this money to buy an influencer house instead of giving money back to the black community or to the people who we use the blackness of their dead, relatives and stuff for. And yeah, that's just what we're going to do. We're not giving any money to the organization chapters or anything. We're just doing this for the influencers. We may not produce much, content from these influencer houses, but, we have this secret complex that we're trying to keep on the low from everybody. Bauer's statement continued. BLM GNF has and continues to utilize the space for programming and leadership off-sites. The property does not serve as a personal residence, but at least one activist in Missouri meanwhile, said he was dismayed upon learning of the complex in California. It's the waste of resources, Ferguson activist Toy Russell told New York Magazine. And that's exactly right. This is a complete and utter waste of resources. Instead of taking $6.2 million and spending that on the black community, you can even buy a school for less. You could buy a school, have resources go into schools that already exist for newer textbooks, better school materials, better desks. I don't know. I haven't been to school in a little minute because I graduated, but You could do all that. Instead, they just keep buying houses. And they won't tell nobody about it. They won't tell nobody where they got the money. They won't tell nobody about the houses. They won't tell nobody anything. So they don't need to be confused on why people are so up in arms about the lack of transparency and what's really going on here. Black Lives Matter was a sham from the beginning. And then anybody who fell for it, you've been tricked, and you're going to keep getting tricked if you fell for this. If you donated any money of that $66.2 million towards BLM during the height of the 2020 riots and any other time after that, you're green. People love to finesse you because they didn't get me. I don't think they got any people who actually knew what this was and they could see the writing on the wall. This is a scam. But anyways, man, hey, Black Lives Matter, they running the checkup, not giving no money back to the people they said they wanted to help, and they making a killing off of it. It is what it is. So, yeah, let me know your comments down below. If you have any questions or concerns, you can leave them. But as always, it's been your boy Chad, and I'm out. Peace.